Okay, do you want to do the intro?
No, I'm okay, thanks, Mick.
Okay.
You do this to me every
Okay,
time.
I'll do the intro. Right. Right. What, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, that'll do.
Who is it? Who is it?
Mick here live from
That's a bit
Barra.
Savile. It's a bit too Savile-like for my liking.
Boys and girls.
How's about that?
I'll think more fucking Alex Harvey. Okay, boys and girls.
Aye.
Right, we've got a guest coming in here. This is actually the slot we're naming in your room. Is that right? This is it.
Yeah.
I've named it.
Yes, this is in your room. Certainly in
And
my room.
This is actually an ex-member of the band who toured and played on stage with us. Okay, and get any clues who this is? Should we make a surprise?
Does he get hair?
I don't know actually. I mean, he did have hair then.
He did have hair then. Okay.
I don't know if he can hear us right now.
I hope he does.
Anyway, shall I bring him in?
Yeah.
For him to want to make any more of an announcement?
We won't say his name.
I can actually see him. He's got I think he's got a little bit of hair at the sides.
Okay, it's probably painted on.
No, he's not.
There he is, the invisible man.
Hello.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Put your screen onto landscape.
All right.
I go landscape and you go wider.
There we go.
I can't get your head there.
Well, I've not seen you for a long time. Hey, Derek, I saw you on YouTube. That was great, by the way. You were amazing when you were doing the singing as well. I was like, how did he not do the singing before? How was he never singing before?
Maybe because he's shite.
I lost the toilet paper. That's what it was.
He can't afford a singer. That's why he sings.
No, I can afford more things because it's the singer.
Did you know you used to insist on a microphone down at front there?
I did back vocals anyway. I'm on the back vocals, aye. Along with Brian as well, Brian.
Aye, that's right.
Anyway, Paul, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm fine and well, guys. I'm glad
to
be here. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Mick's still looking the best he is all, isn't he? The fucking love.
Well, I've spent a lot of fucking effort on my fucking setup here.
Mick's had surgery, Paul.
On my tits.
He's lucky that way.
I fucking get my tits done, by the way. I can't run anymore.
Take them off.
So I know you've not got much time here. I believe you heading out later or something. How much time have we got? So we can pace this out.
Aye, let's go.
Are you okay?
Right, somebody's coming about 9:30, about an hour.
Where are you living, Paul?
I'm Crookston, you know.
Oh, you're in Crookston?
Aye.
Whereabouts?
Near Barshaw Park, towards Barshaw Park. Ralston, that area.
Right.
Aye.
I got a place there in 2002, something like that.
That's where I learned guitar there. That was Crookston. That was in Brockburn Road.
Right.
Brian nearly fell asleep over that wonderful story.
No, I've got my dog down here in my lap and he's trying to want me to go and feed him.
Yeah,
you know,
fuck him.
I'll say is, all I remember about the time was I actually shared the room with Derek for like 4 months. Do you know what I mean?
I used to see your wee eye peeking out when I was on the game. Remember that?
You were on the game a couple of times. You were in a hedge one time as well when I was getting into the room, I remember.
So see, before we go, can we just remind our audience where you were in the band, at what period, and the kind of duration that you were there? It was obviously for the Peter Gabriel tour was the main big element, wasn't it? But what was happening before that? Did you play any gigs before that?
No.
So your first tour was straight on to the big time with Gabriel?
Straight on to the big time with Gabriel, and I was remember I just turned 18.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done any gigs outside of like Glasgow. I'd done a couple of end games gigs and that was
Were you bricking it?
It was kind of weird for me because just the way it all came together, you know, I got a call from Bruce. I didn't know at the time that David Rudden's brother went to school with Jim and all that. I didn't know the connection, you know. I had no idea what was going on. I just got a call from Bruce, went up to Jim's house in the Tory Glen. He played me some stuff and gave it. I think he wanted a sort of Andy Mackay vibe. He was looking for like you play the you know, the flute and the sax and all that, and do that. I don't know.
I can't
Then I turned
remember
up
how
at
did
rehearsals.
we even get your name? How did do you remember how we got Paul?
Through Davy Rudden.
I know a sax
Bernard.
player.
Davy Rudden, I think.
Was
Aye.
it?
Bernard
Right.
Rudden.
Bernard
Pa-
Rudden.
Pals with us for Holyrood.
Aye.
Right. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Aye, so then we rehearsed in Edinburgh somewhere in a theatre. I can't remember what it was called, for about
Aye.
2 weeks. And then
Aye.
you came and picked me up one day in a minibus, and we were away for 4 months.
Wow.
It was wild, man. For me, it was like, what happened there? And
How
Yeah.
old were you,
incredible
Paul?
stuff. Eh?
How old
Sorry?
were you? You were about 20 or
I
something
just
at the time?
turned
Were you
18.
18?
I just turned 18. So I was like, I remember Jill Coulson getting her passports one day for us to go through somewhere. She looked at mine and turned and looked at me and went, I'm old enough to be your mother. You know, that was the first time I get the kind of, wait a minute, am I a bit young here?
Who was
But it was great.
Jill? Who was Jill Coulson? Was she from Arista?
I
She
know
was
the name. I remember the
Gabriel's
name.
manager at the time.
Who?
Oh, Gail Coulson. Aye.
Gail Coulson. I know
Oh.
Gail Force
Yeah,
was the name of her company. Gail Force.
Gail. Good. That's brilliant.
And I remember the first gig. I remember Britt Rowe had built individual monitor mixes with faders and all that on them for every single artist, everybody on the stage. Which
Their own one, aye.
it was 1980. Like, that didn't become a real product in the real world till about another 15 years later. You know, those guys were cutting edge. I didn't
It was,
realise
wasn't
it was just like, oh, looked all brilliant. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
First gig was in Berlin, yeah?
No, I think it was.
No,
Stop.
first gig.
Did we not arrive in Berlin the day before, and some of the band went to see the Ramones, and we ended up all fighting?
No, that was after the gig. We did
I
a gig
thought
and
it was the
then
night
went to the
before.
Ramones. Aye. But I think the first gig was Hamburg.
I think it was Hamburg as well.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
think so. Aye.
There was a couple of fights, wasn't there?
Hey, we can tell by Jane's diary will tell you where we were.
Aye.
Aye, because she would have been there.
Was she? I
Was
don't know.
she
She
there?
never
Was
came on the
Jane
tour.
Anderson, no.
They never came on the tour.
Oh,
You
God.
guys had got I think Gabriel had given, what Bruce said to me is, you know, Gabriel loved the last album, Real Cacophony, and he was like right into you being on the tour. So there was no buy-on, and it was like, what an opportunity for you guys. I mean, 5 nights in Berlin, 5 nights in Paris. I remember in Italy, it was a big open concert with 30,000 people. It was fucking extraordinary.
It was.
Experience.
I remember that. I remember that gig in Italy because somebody threw something at my kit, and
That
it was like
was
a
Genoa.
sponge.
Right.
Genoa
It
was
was
cakes.
so hot. They had water cannon tanks at the sides spraying the crowd, and somebody threw something for the crowd, it hit my kit and wrecked the veneer off the kit.
Oh, that's
Is that
not
right?
It was like a cake or sponge or something. I don't know what the hell it was.
There was really good feel. I remember going through because some of them were outside in tents in the centre of the town, south of France and all that. I remember coming along here in Salisbury Hill, getting played in the
Brilliant,
distance.
aye.
You know, it's just coming out the tent with the gig with Gabriel live. It was what a feeling.
That
For me, it was the musicians
Ellis.
as well. You know, like was it Tommy Mottola was the drummer?
Jerry
Marotta.
Marotta.
Jerry Marotta.
And the guitar player played in Salisbury Hill. That was the guy out of the Vibrators, John Ellis, for the
That's right.
Vibrators.
That's right. They were
Larry
great.
Fast.
Larry
John
Fast on the
Giblin.
keyboards, aye.
Aye. John
Big
Giblin.
John, yeah.
Aye. I mean, it was for me, like I say, I just turned 18 and I didn't know anything, but also I grew up with my dad and the whole kind of music thing in the background. So I wasn't kind of out of my depth or anything like that in terms of understanding what was going on. I was just like a wee boy being jumped into an opportunity with you guys, and I loved it. I thought it was an extraordinary experience. It set me up for life.
Yeah, no, it was an extraordinary experience. It set us all up, I think, to be for the rest of your career. I felt that was an amazing opportunity for Peter Gabriel.
Aye. In fact, your 5 nights in Berlin and all that, it's like, who else was doing 5 nights in Berlin in 1980?
I know. Here's a wee flashback to Brian. Brian got some snapshots here. I'll put the first one up, see what memories it stirs in you, Paul. Right, you ready for this?
Aye. No, really.
You've got hair, Paul.
Aye. I look good. Oh, fucking hell. I don't remember that.
Like, I can see Matt Dunn. I can see Charlie,
There's
Jim.
Paul on the left.
Can't you
Yeah.
remember?
Me next to Paul. Then Derek, Dan, Derek.
I
Eddie.
think it was the
Fucking
chain.
Derek now.
The chain of hotels was a kind of well-known chain, wasn't it? The Odd Pools. What was the name of those hotels?
No. Novotel.
The
Novotel.
Novotel. Aye.
That was it. Yeah.
You would travel about
hated
800
them, Mick.
miles. You would travel about 800 miles and it would be the same room you go when you go there.
I'm just
Aye.
wondering
You're
where the
fucking
fuck,
tired.
where the fuck am I? Down my kit still.
You're on the right hand side, Mick.
Am I? Is that
Right
no
next to
Matt? Oh, sorry,
Charlie.
I think that was Matt Dunn there.
There's a bit Matt done. No, that's you.
No,
That's
it's
it.
you.
Looks like Matt, aye.
It
You,
does look like
Charlie,
Matt, doesn't
Jim, Eddie, Dan, me, Paul.
Yeah.
John Leckie took the pictures.
Was it?
Right, well done, John. What was the
Aye.
name of the guy who drove us? Because you had a great name.
Eddie.
for him, that-
Eddie
Spider.
Cairns. Eddie
Spider.
Cairns.
That's it. And what did we call him? We had another name for him, but a real name.
Spider.
That's it. That's all he called him all the
Because
time.
he had a wee bit of hair in his head, it looked like a spider. And do you remember the cassette tape, Paul, when we started the tour? That we'd made up a cassette tape to put into the van when he was starting the tour, and it was Jim with a microphone saying, "Who's the baldy bastard in the car driving the wheel?"
That was actually me, Brian. That was
was it
me.
you, Dan?
I did it in stereo, did it on one side. Oi, Reg! And then what is he saying? Who's that baldy ferret in the fucking car? Right, is he a fucking daddy or what?
And he loved it.
Aye.
He's
Yeah.
passed
Remember, we
away,
thought he was
Paul.
going to hit us and he just
Have
went,
he?
Aye.
started
No, that's
laughing.
a shame.
Passed away last year.
It must
What
have been
about
up
Billy
in the
Wharton and
driving
you?
board.
Remember
What?
at the end of the tour, Brian, you and Billy Wharton on the bus fighting in
Oh,
the bus?
fuck. I know.
Remember that fucking Charlie in the middle trying to talk you?
I know, because Billy was trying. I was asking for per diems.
Where's
I
my
had no
fucking
money.
PDs?
I just said, "Going to give me some money," and he went, "Fuck off, man!" And you're not getting any. I says, and I'm saying to Billy, you work for me. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Fuck off, man! You're getting nothing." I just went fucking boing. And the best laugh was that night Billy was in the phone to Bruce.
Aye.
I could hear him, and he was in his room, and he's smashing the window with his bed. He threw his bed out the room.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the next minute, the team for the hotel came up the stairs and phoned Interpol. And this is the whole laugh of the story, is that Billy got deported that night and got on a plane to Edinburgh. and Bruce was like to him, Billy, calm down. He's like, Bruce, I was fighting with Brian and blah blah. And Billy's carrying all the money.
Aye. Oops.
So the best laugh is Billy Wharton got deported that night on a plane to Edinburgh, and we were all stuck driving from bloody France to Dover and onwards to get home, and Billy got home first.
Oh, so the tour finished? Was that finished?
That was the end.
Tour was ended. We'd finished in Porto and we're coming up through
We did,
France.
that's right, aye.
And we landed in our service station in France, and I asked for French francs, and he went, "Fuck off, man." I'm like, "Fuck's sake, Billy, I'm starving. Give me something." You know what I mean? And he was refused to give me any money. So it was
He was always getting in a fight or something. He was always really kind of arguing. And I always remember when you go to the bar, "Do you want a drink, Billy?" "Oh, I'll take a large brandy."
Yeah,
And can
and a
you
cigar.
get 20 pence in Hedges?
a cigar and Remy Martin.
I remember he used to walk into the gigs and say, "Right, you get me 2 coffees and 2 brandy, a large brandy." You know, he would just point to the guy. You get that ignorant bastard every time he went in.
And 5 humpers or the gig's off.
Unfortunately, he's passed away, so we can't speak to Ill of the Dead.
I know.
That's no ill. That's a good story.
The best one. Do you remember when we were in Lisbon and you were the typical freaking stigma attached with Germans and towels and freaking pools, and you were away doing early, Brian, and fucking you're not fucking a big argument with the fucking Germans.
We've had a discussion about this before, Paul, and they reckon that I hit the guy first.
Aye.
No, what he did, he came up, I remember exactly.
No.
The old guy came up, he said, because he wanted you to turn it down. And he was like that, he's pressing all the buttons and all that. And you went, "Oh, well, you get yourself, you fuck, get out my road and all that." So you turned it up again and we started just what we were doing, sitting having a drink or a swim.
Aye.
And then he came out again to try and turn it off again. And then fucking you you kind of gave him a wee tap. He fell, the whole place, all the pencils were a bit
But
went,
he fell into the table and
he
the
fell into
chairs.
the chair.
Aye.
It looked a lot worse than it probably
That
was.
actually was
looking
right.
bad. It was bad.
Is that your recollection, Paul?
Pretty much, aye. And you did. It wasn't. He was a nuisance. He was being abusive because you were turning it up. But it was the end of the tour as well. We were all a bit deaf. You know what I mean? So,
But did you not start greeting, though, Brian?
What?
I think you started greeting.
No, that was the only day I didn't.
No,
But
I think you did that. I think you got your
Did you-
money.
Paul,
Yeah.
I
Can
think
you
Paul was
confirm if Brian started greeting or no?
I think he's always had a tear in his eye.
I was annoyed at you getting paid wages.
What it?
No, I told you. I spoke to you. I don't know if I spoke to you after the tour or
Aye.
when we were in End Games about me no
Aye.
wanting you be on tour.
Aye.
Because
I got that vibe. I got a bit of that vibe as well. Aye.
I tried to make your life uncomfortable, which was wrong because it was Jim's decision and it wasn't any our decision. And I said that
He was only a wee boy and you were giving him a right hard time.
I know that, but I did retract it. I said to Paul years ago that it was wrong for me to behave like that, and I said it to you either after the tour or was we kind of became pals after it anyway.
I'm only kidding.
But there was another one where I think Derek and locked Paul into the room and you with me, weren't you, Brian? And we're throwing bottles of fucking vodka into your veranda.
I just said, let us in, Dan, let us in. I'm going, no.
Why would we want to murder Paul?
Fuck knows, I don't know. I don't know why.
Let Paul answer that.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I remember that night.
I remember that night. And
we all went out for dinner or something.
I thought it was the same night we went to Kino and saw the Ramones. Am I getting confused?
Might be. I didn't go to that gig, but we ended up.
I went to the Ramones. I don't know how I went to the Ramones way, but it was at midnight. It was after the gig. It was one of the maybe the second or third night there, and I went with whoever else went, and it was great.
But we had two balconies. And you were in the room with Dan, and I'm throwing a bottle of vodka across the balcony, and you try to hit it off your veranda or door. Just I don't know why. I can't even tell you why. Just because we were up to mischief.
Probably banging doors and running away like fucking waves. You know?
It was really. It was like
still
we boys in a school outing.
But the best laugh I remember as well, Berlin, was you with the knife trying to get the Lizard King, trying to get rid of the lizards. Remember, there was a lizard cage in the club we were in.
That might
have been fancy.
The same night, no.
Well, that was the article. That must have been Berlin because that was the article that Ronnie Gurr wrote, wasn't it?
Aye, I was all about that.
The photos up against the wall as well.
That was the one I got the front cover of Record Mirror and Jim was raging.
That photo, I think, wasn't Berlin. I think the photo was, maybe we were in Dusseldorf at the Philips Halle. But that's when we saw it. But I think it must have been taken before. You were Bonnie in the fucking shower.
Yeah.
But I remember
here's another picture.
Wow.
Does that look familiar?
Let him talk.
No.
You don't remember that, Paul?
Who's in the roof?
No idea.
You don't know?
That's you on the right-hand side.
Aye. Is it the
That's Rockfield. That's the
Rockfield, right.
Oh,
right.
Big Rodden on the roof. God knows why he's on the roof.
The wee car is Lecky's, the wee red one with the...
Aye, right.
A EMG in it or something. Yeah. That one, and then there's this one.
Wow.
Don't know what that is.
That's backstage at Peter Gabriel gig.
That was a Gabriel tour. Yeah. Here's a good one.
Brilliant.
Hello.
That'll bring a tear to your eye, Paul. You see that hair you had? Look at that.
Oh, I was a freaking body looking man. What the fuck?
Humphrey Blanchflower.
Blanchflower. We don't call me Danny Blanchflower.
Why did we call you that?
Because of the football. We're playing football and I was getting it all dancing about with the ball.
Humphrey Blanchflower was.
Humphrey probably as well, aye. I tell you
That's
what,
another
Derek, thanks
shame.
because it was great. You were so accommodating to me. You were
That's because you were lying in bed with him.
no, it wasn't.
No, I used to take the double bed every night, apart from intermittent, and then he'd get in it with me in between because he had the shite bed.
I'm sure
never
I seen
came out
that.
of-
I'm sure I witnessed you two in bed together, bollock naked.
No,
What's up with that?
You went quiet. Paul's went quiet there.
no.
He'll deny that and all.
A wee bit of bum foolery.
You know what's good as well,
friends of
Derek,
the
was
earth.
when you would sit down with a guitar and play, and I was like, that fucking hell, this dude's a right top player.
Yeah.
That's what I realised when we were on that tour. I realised how good you were because I didn't know.
He was such a minstrel.
No, it's just some people have got some people ride the horse and some people get dragged along by the horse when they're playing a song, and you're on top of it. It's just the feeling of that.
It wasn't
I
a
loved
horse,
it.
Paul.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? I loved it.
Thanks
I got
very
the
much.
vibe.
At last.
But
And
it
I
was
had
Yeah.
that
great.
SG. I got that SG for you for 200
That's
quid.
right. That's right. That's right. At the end of the tour, that I
Aye,
got off Freddie at McCormick's.
right.
I swapped it for a PV guitar that I had. So it was a good deal.
Does anybody
Wow.
know who the guy is in that picture? Who's that guy?
A promoter, Dutch promoter of some kind, if
Oh,
I
I wish I
remember
could
right.
see it
Yeah.
there.
Backstage in Holland.
These are amazing. These are shocking. Like taking me
Paul,
back 40
I've
years.
got millions
That's
of
that
pictures
same
of
one.
nines and
Two
everything.
of them.
Aye, I'd love to. This just takes me back. Look how happy I am.
You're really a Wayne, man.
Aye. You know what's funny is it's also like, Jim still had a stutter then. And like when he was doing interviews and stuff, he still used. I think he used it. I think he'd got out of it from when he was younger. But he used it to brilliant kind of effect. Because I remember at that
To
time.
give him time to think.
Aye, and I think it also.
Singing, being
Aye,
a singer as well.
aye, and I think it also helped with the press. The kind of NME vibe and all that, because it gave it a good vibe. But for me, the Empires and Dance album, when I listen to it, I get all that kind of feeling of that time and playing with you guys. And I also remember it was just like I could feel that you were gone somewhere. Where whatever had happened before, what you were doing right then and there was definitely going to take you somewhere. Because you had a cohesive thing about the band. It had all grown through the previous albums, and you were all ready for the next one. I think you should go out and do. You lot should go out and do Sister Feeling calls. You should go out and do the album and get
I know,
fucking
I'd
loads
love
of
to do
money
that.
off of promoters because it's all fucking instrumental, and folk will come and watch it.
Would you come?
Aye,
Will you get up on stage and play a double two saxophones at the same time?
that was my vibe, eh? That worked.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
Aye.
clip that we got that you're actually playing on here, but the video's no of
The video's
you,
got
but
nothing to do with anything. It's just the
video's-
audio.
it's just
Oh,
the audio.
aye.
I'll try and find the bit and see where the sax bit comes in. Hang on a minute, see what this is.
Minute 48, you said, Mick.
What was that? Minute 48?
I think so.
It sounds well rough. I don't know where the recording came from. Do you know where it came from, Brian?
It's off the Gabriel gig.
A minute 48. Let's go up to
Premonition.
somewhere before it. Try this. You hear that okay? Oh, there it's there.
Aye, it's got the
Premonition, it sounds great though.
aye.
Yeah, you hear it?
Andy
it was
McKay.
That's
It was
it.
all-
It's Andy McGee sort of
It
vibe.
was always good to play that song live, wasn't it?
Aye.
It really
That was a
felt
great
it.
song.
Really
Aye.
felt it.
All right, celebrate, man. It's fucking great live. At that
And
time, I remember.
Was there another
what-
bit in this one somewhere, Brian? Was there pleasantly disturbed something? Have you got the notes in front of you where there was? I think there was a pleasantly disturbed thing on here, wasn't there?
I'm not sure, mate.
That's Michael Ogletree there. So.
Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can hear any sax in here. Apparently there's some sax in this one. Do you remember this, Paul? Playing sax in this?
Aye.
Rock Ballast.
Yeah, it was a TV show.
That's got nothing
Rock
to do
Ballast,
with
that's the
sound.
top German one.
A bit of sax here.
You just
He's doing the violin line.
replicating the violin part.
Aye.
Yeah, it's quite bad audio, but yeah, you get the vibe. That's good stuff.
I tell you what was amazing about that tour as well was, see, at the very first gig, I didn't really know who Peter Gabriel was, right? Because it was a wee bit before my time. I hadn't heard Peter. I had heard Peter Gabriel, right? I just didn't know it was Peter Gabriel. But see, when we went in and they were doing the sound check and he started singing, I'd never heard anybody that the quality of their voice was better live and was really distinctive like his. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, this dude's, the quality of his voice and the way he sang, the vibrato control and all that was just incredible. So it really gave me a dun, because I'd only heard it like they'd sort of played it, like, here's a Genesis album, you know? So I didn't know, but I'd heard it in parties and stuff. And then to hear it, and it was even better.
I used to always think that Peter Gabriel sounded as if he had a chorus built into his voice.
Aye. It's
like an affected
a beautiful
sound.
texture, unique texture. I like Bono, like a unique texture. As soon as you hear a line, it's like, that's Peter Gabriel. That's what
he's got an amazing voice, and I can't think of a better singer than Peter Gabriel, to be honest with you. A male vocal, I think it's brilliant.
Aye, that's like Freddie Mercury would be the same. He's got a unique voice, and you know, as soon as you hear it, you know it's him. But that was the thing. Extraordinary players he had playing with him. It was an extraordinary production. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that. I don't think you had been on a tour as like well produced and sort of professional.
No, that was the first big one for us.
No,
that's what and it was. You were gone somewhere at that point. That he lifted you up into the league and the whole of Europe with that tour. He put you right in front of everybody, in front of the press, in front of the telly. And it took you 2 years to get the hit, you know, and away you went in terms of like hit record, Top of the Pops, you know.
Yeah, remember the night we all went on stage with him and we kind of surprised him at the Games Without Frontiers.
That's Cascais, Lisbon. Cascais.
Brian's idea.
Was it?
Lisbon, remember it got a big hit.
We went under the stage or something.
Under the stage got a big heads for just on Frontier.
I've got photographs of that. I sent one to you, Mick, with Paul on stage with the Gabriel.
I can't. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. You keep going. I'll have a look. See if it's.
I think it made front page of the press, didn't it? We get told the next day that it was in the reviews. Oh, and Gabriel went back to his, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway vibe and all that because it was we come on the stage.
Yeah,
I remember Jerry Marotta grabbing me on stage before the tour finished. He said to me, at some point in time, I'm going to grab you and throw you on the kit.
Right.
And they like it was the second last gig or whatever, and he threw me on the kit for Biko. Brilliant. And I'm playing Biko, and at that point in time, I've got photographs of it. I think Eddie Kearns was taking the pictures, and Jerry Marotta grabbed me and threw me on the kit, and then stood at the other side of the stage where Larry Fash was playing the keyboards, and stood with a tambourine and went, "Carry on." And I went. But the thing was, at the very end of the gig, or the song, I hit a crash cymbal. And the song doesn't have any crash. There was no crash cymbals in the song. And Gabriel turned around like
that. Brian, there was actually no cymbals on the whole album. There was none at all on the album. So as soon as he heard that, he just went.
He turned around and saw it with the Jerry Marotta on the drums.
Aye.
So it was a big conflab after that gig. Yeah. Sacked Jerry Marotta, but it was near the end of the tour. And he got away with it. But I've got photographs of me playing on the kit.
Brilliant.
That was a great song. Family snapshots. Every time that came on, it was like hypnotised me.
Yeah, I love that song. It's a brilliant song.
Aye.
Yeah. Did you find that picture, Mick?
I can't find it, Brian. I'm looking at another download that he's sent here, but let me see. It's still the roof stuff. I can't find the download.
I've got it here. Hang on. Where is it? There it's there. Right. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, aye.
That's you right in the middle, Paul.
That was the
Wow.
suit, wasn't it?
Jesus Christ. That's
Is that,
mental, man.
is that us on the stage, Will?
I gave Eddie Kearns my camera, and he was taking pictures of. There's a picture of me with my face sticking out of the big mad fucking models that we had.
Aye.
And there's pictures of us on stage as well, but that's Gabriel playing the piano on the left-hand side.
Yeah,
Paul
because I
in the middle and
remember
Mick on the
Gail Coulson gave us the suits to wear, and they were off at that point, and we ran on because it was during the encore.
Yeah.
So everybody thought that was the band coming back on because we were in the boiler suits.
Aye.
Yep.
And Gabriel must have been like, "What the fuck's going on here?
I know.
Who's that?" But it was really great. It was a great moment.
Good memories.
And I get the chance to stand in for Big John Giblin was
That's
late.
right. That's
And I
right.
get dressed up with everything on. Peter gave me, he said, there, listen to that, and gave me a Walkman. Listen, he says, you know the songs, then? I says, I know the songs, but I've never played them. So I was ready to go, though.
No pressure.
And then, I was, you know me, I was like, fucking neighbour, I would go and do it. But I would have minded it.
Yeah.
You just turn the volume. Turn the volume down. Aye, just fucking go.
Let the keyboard player play the bass parts.
I'll
Is
go
that
with
what you
that. Kid on the lead suit and all that. What's happening? So, but that didn't happen because the big man made it.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember that. Just in the
There's
nick
a
of time.
time difference or something. Aye.
He went AWOL.
Aye.
Yeah.
In Frankfurt, it was fucking, where was it? It was their favourite, Offenbach. That's what it was. It was Offenbach. The night we played there. The Offenbach Arab, if you remember him.
I remember the Offenbach Arab. Aye. That was he came about noon again.
No
Aye.
one knows about the Offenbach Arab unless you were in the mines.
Aye.
I know.
I
Or
know.
propaganda as well. Propaganda. He appeared
The
propaganda as well.
The Arab appeared.
The girls were like that.
Propaganda tour.
Oh, we saw him. He was here. He danced naked in the room and all that.
We told all the
We
girls
walked
in
in straight
propaganda.
away after going, all right, he was here. He was here. Going crazy.
That's brilliant. I remember
The legend of the
Arab.
vanishing Offenbach Arab.
Oh. And you, Derek, you were always like when we were in Germany. You were always saying, I can only remember paraphrasing about monkeys in German. You kept saying some phrase to everybody about monkeys in German. I don't know what it was. There's some reference, and everybody was
I
always
should remember, but I mean, I know Lord Smurf. God, we've been
I know.
there for 7 years.
He always knew how to insult someone in about 10
Ja.
different
Wo
languages.
ist die Toilette, bitte? Mein Arschloch ist kaputt. Ich habe Durchfall.
Durch my diarrhea or something, isn't it?
Aye, that's it.
Drink my diarrhea in
It
German.
goes, schluck mein
Schluck
Durchfall, du Affe. That's what that was. I swallow my diarrhea, you monkey.
Imagine even think that up.
I think it was,
wrong with your
do you know
head.
what? I think it was Michael Mearns that hit me with that one. Schluck mein Durchfall.
Schluck my Durchfall. You know, I couldn't speak a word of German, and I was with propaganda for 6-7 years. And the only thing I remember, because we were living in Dusseldorf at the time, and Derek was away somewhere, and I was trying to roll a joint. I couldn't fucking get fag papers or anything. And I managed to go into a cigarette shop, a tobacconist, and say, "Haben Sie Zigarettenpapier bitte?" That was the only German I've ever heard.
That's all you needed.
That's all I remembered.
Aye.
25 years being in bands and one German line.
And each time, Greg is out the house of cook and then soft drinking with it. Which means, can I boil your dirty underpants and drink the juice? That was really great. Told me that one. Another one that worked all the time. Remember, go to a bar and there was a lassie at the bar having a drink, whatever. I said, Entschuldigen Sie bitte, bist du meine Frau, oder? Ich habe mein Gedächtnis verloren. Says, I've lost my memory. You my wife. You my wife. And they would get the black, because my accent apparently is Dusseldorf accent. I don't know. I can't hear it.
The other good story, Paul, was when we were in Berlin doing that thing with the cage and the lizards in the middle.
Aye.
I went up to the bar and I was drinking. I was off the vodka at the time, trying to behave myself. and I was drinking dry martini. So I goes up to the bar and I says, "A dry martini, please," and whatever else I was ordering, and the guy came back with 3 martinis.
As dry as 3, German for 3, dry. So he ended up having to use all his per diems to pay for it.
3 martinis instead of 1. A dry martini, you dick.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it was great. I think when we came back for the tour, and you were going on to do the Kidderminster was the next
Oh
gig,
fuck! I
and you were
remember
doing
that.
the UK, and that was the last gig was Hammersmith Pally in London.
All right,
And
aye.
at that gig, Jobson turned up.
I was
John
going to
Leckie was
say
there
that.
as well backstage. Jobson came up and he came on stage and he was playing freaking, he was trying to kid on and all that. And then he asked me to go and do their album, his worst album ever, Let the Corys. And
The
I
Armory
went and
Show.
done that. I did that right after the Mines tour. So basically, I came after tour and went straight into Angel Studios for 2 months. So it was
Yeah,
great.
well,
So it changed my life, you know.
yeah, that's brilliant. And then you hooked up with Mike Ogletree, didn't you?
Aye, Fiction Factory.
Aye,
After
Fiction
That's right.
Endgames. After
Right.
Endgames, Fiction
That
Factory.
was a great song. That was a really fucking
Brilliant track.
pop
Oh, they
song.
Feels
well, they
like
did.
heaven.
Aye, they had a big hit in Europe. It was #1. They were on the San Vincent sort of summer hits show in Italy. It's only the
Yeah.
biggest acts that are on it. They were on that.
Aye.
They did Verona. The
How
Verona.
did you get in there? How did you get onto that band?
Chick, that was the main guy that ran it, the guitarist in the band, and he phoned me up and said, "Do you want to come and play with us?" The guy who actually wrote the song, "Feels Like Heaven," with Kevin, the singer, he didn't want to go on tour.
Right.
So I just went in as a session player. But it was great. And then I did the last album with him, the last album. So it was good.
Did you ever keep in touch with Mike after that? Have you ever
Aye.
been? Aye.
Mike's in I saw him in New York maybe about 8 years ago. And I'd seen him before that once. And I've kept in touch with him, still keep in touch with him on Facebook. He's in
Yeah.
North Carolina now. And he's got
All
me.
right.
He's
He's in a hotel.
Aye. I've seen him
Aye.
in New York as well.
Yeah, we saw him in New York, didn't we? It's kind
Mike
of.
was great. I mean, Mike was a great drummer. Like, he was
He
a
was a
great
great
drummer.
drummer.
Aye,
That's
really.
good.
I always felt at the time when Mike was getting shoved out, basically, and Mel was coming in, that because Mike had kind of composed a lot of the feel for New Gold Dream, and it was
Yeah.
real subtle. There was
Aye.
tons of space the way he played, and suddenly all we were getting is this big loud drum sound in it. And I always felt like sitting in the studio and the awkwardness of it. Why don't they just fucking turn the drums up? If you want it, if it's not powerful enough. And I've got a feeling, and I always felt that the bass drum was dead loud in New Gold Dream. I've got a feeling that's one of the reasons why that bass drum was too loud. And I've heard, who's the producer again? Pete Walsh.
Pete Walsh.
Pete Walsh even saying, I didn't realise the bass drum was that loud. I've got a feeling that was shoved up to make Mel sound, to justify Mel coming in. Because I couldn't make it any reason why Mike's drums didn't work.
I think the production on that album's really quiet, drum wise.
The bass drum, check it out. Check out
The
the
drums
level.
in general.
The bass drum is extortionately loud. It's
compared to Sons and Fascination, it's like a bloody coffee table album.
No, honestly, Brian, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It always did. And I think that was one of the main reasons that Pete was really shoving that the element of this needs a bass drum to get the power that Jim was craving, that he didn't felt was coming off Mike.
Yeah. Paul?
We actually turned up, remember? We were in the Endgames at the time, Brian, and when they were doing New Gold Dream, me and Rudden brought Billy Mackenzie and Alan Rankin.
I remember when you came down.
We came down with Phil Sharp for EMI.
Right? Phil Sharp. That was the other guy I was trying to remember.
We never come down with him. What actually happened was we get leather in the afternoon with Billy and Alan. Went to Fiction Records, their label at the time. They were in the charts. They got a limousine and alcohol to take them to Oxford because Rudden was like, "Come on, we'll go and see the Mines there at the Manor." and off we go. And
Let's go and annoy them.
aye, let's go and annoy them. No, it's all pals together. I don't
Did you
what
know?
happened,
Well, you
but
know,
I think
Kim, I
Alan
remember
Rankin
something
stayed.
about jellies. Did you know a fucking bunch of
Aye.
tablets that just turned
Aye.
your feet to rubber?
They ended up
Aye.
in the lake. Landscape,
Mandies,
Paul.
Mandrax.
Club written on
We
it.
called the bank account the enjoyment club.
And we wrote enjoyment checks. Aye, we did that. That's great, wasn't it? We used to write
Brilliant.
let's get an enjoyment check going.
Yeah, that's
We were
brilliant.
running our own band. We didn't have a manager. It was no Bruce. That's the funny thing about end games. We never had a manager.
That was the downfall, Paul.
Well, I don't know if it was. It was great for what it was. We did
No,
well.
but
We
if we
did pretty good.
if we had decent management, we might have done better.
Yeah.
Who knows? But you know
Let's have a look at the man himself, shall we?
Oh,
for a
Big
wee minute.
Rutten.
Yeah.
This
Rutten.
hour with Toto, the Jayhawks, and Billy Bragg right now
This
waiting for
must
another
be a
chance.
TV
Here's
show or something like
Endgame.
that.
Let it run. It's an MTV clip.
This video, Paul.
Aye, this we get money spent on us, a person.
Who's playing the keyboard?
Davey Murdoch.
David
Davey
Murdoch.
Murdoch, PC Murdoch.
Aye,
That's a good,
dance.
that's a good keyboard line. I like that. It's a hook.
Clem Dane.
Crazy.
And that's kind of got a
That's
good
Andy River
wet look leather about it, and that's like an Ultravox cover.
Aye.
David, aye.
It's just all Davey.
it?
I'm hardly in it. I'm at the back and the dancer. I'm one of the dancers in the back there.
Are you?
With Brian.
You use the word dancers loosely there, Paul.
Aye, well, pants
Chancers.
people, chancers, hands people. They're all there.
Oh, it's a Simmons kit.
Aye, we were dead modern.
Oh, there's Willie.
Oh, you want to Gardner,
What a
brilliant.
position, man. Yeah.
I was
Who's
convinced-
May Hockey?
Who's
Who's May
I remember him. I remember him now. I was always convinced that Willie was going to be a serious pop star. For you?
Just, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
What's really weird about Willie was I'm getting a bit older than us. I don't know how much older he is than you. Was he about your age, Derek? Willie.
Same age as me.
He's a wee
No,
bit,
I
he's a
think
wee
his
bit
age
younger
is-
than me, I think.
I think his age is with Dan. What, Mick?
Is he?
I think it's
yeah.
Aye.
He's Alex Harvey's nephew, isn't he?
Aye,
He
was, aye.
always looked so cool. I remember seeing him in the Dooncastle with Modern Man or something like that, and
Oh,
and
he's
even
playing
the
as well.
these old songs that were like Bebop Deluxe and a few of those.
Aye.
That good, amazing guitar and looked so good. There was like a pop star even at the time, wasn't it?
I don't know what was going on with him, but there was like, I think he was upset about us because we were all younger and we pulled this off, and he would been just been sessioning with us, and I think he had a sort of chip in his shoulder about it for some reason. Do you know what I mean? I never really worked it out.
Maybe he should
really-
have been
Paul,
the front. He
Paul,
should have been
you
the
know-
front man.
You know what it was? You're right. He was older and he thought we were all naive.
Aye,
So we were all making wrong decisions all the time.
aye.
And
But-
no listening to him.
But the truth of the matter is, Brian, without Willie, we negotiated a 2 albums deal with Virgin without a manager. Is
Yeah.
actually the reality of what happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we actually did really well. And in retrospect, now seeing what everybody else got in advances, we get the same. So we actually did pretty good. I remember getting the check off Simon Draper. We were having the party, and he came up to me and gave it to me, the Coutts & Co check, and went, there you go. And that was like,
What did you say? Like, whoa, enjoyment.
I didn't know what, I was like, who the fuck's Coutts & Co? It was actually my first thought.
The Queen's Bank.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'll
No,
tell
but
you the
look at
best
this.
laugh.
Look at this video, though. Look at all the shots of Davey trying to make him look like the glamming. No disrespect to Davey. or
Aye.
anything like that. But Wally would 10 times walk
Oh,
over
aye.
that with the whole image that he's got.
I
Yeah, but
know.
the
What
lead
did he
singer,
want it?
lead singer always gets the footage, man.
Aye.
I bet
The
there's
funny
less
thing
than
was-
3 seconds of Willie Gardner in the whole video.
I know, but
And
that's
he's-
3 seconds. That's
he's the
3
best looking
seconds
guy in
more
the
than
band.
me.
What?
Aye.
That's 3 seconds more than me. And
I
Paul.
know.
I get 1 second.
Me too. But, you know,
That's fucking 1 second too much for you.
Just one second at a tea break.
I've got a brilliant story about Willie Gardner on tour with Endgames. I think it was Howard Jones' tour.
Right.
And Willie Gardner came up to me one day during the tour and said to me, "My balls are really, really sore." I don't know if you know this story, Paul.
No.
And I said to him, "Willie, you know the best thing for that?" And he was sharing a room with somebody next door to me in the hotel. I says, "Deep heat. Rub deep heat in your balls, and it'll cure it." And so he went away to a chemist and bought deep heat, and I could hear him in the room. And I went into the room, and he's sitting there with his balls in the sink, running cold water. And I said to him, "I can't believe you're so fucking stupid that you thought that was okay."
Aye, what about Hook My Hawkeye, Brian?
Oh, geez, Paul, you were there in Munich. We came out of a restaurant. We're in with Areola in the restaurant getting fed with the record company, and we came out and it was a winter's night. And Willie came out the street onto the ground, and he was ready to cross the road. And I said to Willie, "Look to the left instead of the right, because it's the opposite way." And he went, "Huck my hockey," as if to say, "Fuck, suck my dick." And he went boof up in the air in a taxi or a car, hit him up in the air and knocked him down and broke his two legs, or one of his legs.
Fuck's sake.
In traction for weeks, probably.
And he was sitting on tour in a wheelchair on stage.
Aye. Did the rest of the tour in a wheelchair, aye. But, you know, fantastic musician, absolutely.
Oh, what a guy. He's a lovely guy, I know. I'm still pals with him, Paul.
Aye. What's he doing?
He's almost retired. He's either a history teacher or an English teacher, like temporary. Him and Leslie are still together.
What a shame, man. You know, for the talent he had.
In his zone before all this, wasn't he? He was in his zone before.
That was his zone.
Aye.
Here's another story for you, Willie. Endgames tour, Howard Jones, I think it was, and he says to me, Brian, you need to take a line of coke. You need to take a line. I'm not fucking taking a line of coke. I don't want coke. I'm not interested. I'm a smoker. I'm a dope smoker. And he went, gonna take a line. And I said to him, right, I'll take a line at the last gig of the tour. And he went, okay, so the last night of the tour, me and him in the fucking toilets taking a line of coke, jumps on stage. I'm no kidding, the fucking gig lasted like and then he walked up to me at the end of the gig and I went, Willie, never again will I ever take coke in my fucking life. And he went, you were amazing. I was like, what's that fuck? I don't even remember it.
Brilliant. But, you know, it was
Tab
a great...
Gardner.
To go back, Tab Gardner. You know, it's difficult when people are alcoholics and you don't know.
I know, but we all had addictions.
Aye, but the drink and the drugs, the kind of speedy drugs, weren't my thing either.
No, you were hyper anyway.
I had tons of energy. Aye, exactly.
We had a wee flirt with amyl nitrate, Brian and I, on a few occasions. There's a funny crackling noise that somebody's contacted a microphone or something's cracking all the time. I don't know.
It sounds like change to me. I don't know what
you hear that?
I'm not even moving.
1, 2, 3.
No,
I'm
okay.
not moving, Mick.
Hear it there?
It's Paul's
I
mate
have it
Derek.
there.
It's Paul's mate Derek making frying bacon in the kitchen.
I think it's yours, Paul. I'm not sure.
I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone.
I hear it.
Can you hear it? Oh, you're on the phone. Anyway, no. Can you hear it now? Because you can't hear it because I've muted you. so it's yours. Talk about it. What was that? So it's no right. Okay. So it's no you because I heard it when you were muted. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fuck it. We'll edit some of this together. No, I was just saying about the ammo. You want to tell that story?
No, you tell it, Mick.
It was just. I mean, we kind of discovered that. I think in New York, was it?
America. Bruce told
it was a rock. No, it was a rock something.
But we eventually
Bruce Finlay told us about it before we
eventually go to, and because I remember us on the dance floor in Europe as well with it, and we'd dip a cigarette into it. You wouldn't like the cigarette. I think it would fucking explode. And you just suck a cigarette that's full of dipped enamel and pass this cigarette about. So you're like, next minute your heart's gone. You know, it's the stuff that all the gays use for sex. But Brian and I were passing the cigarette on stage. You know, so the next minute we're boof, boof, boof. We're like fucking 10, 20 seconds later, it's like, oh, Jesus. And then the head's exploding. You know, you've got headache. You're like,
Aye.
oh, man.
Do you remember
I
we
remember-
spilled, Mick? Do you remember we spilled it in the van with Lenny and all that? We dropped it. Everybody was like, "Whoo!" He's exploding.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was it called? X188.
X112.
There you go. That's it.
Jane
You introduced
Henderson.
me to that. You
Jane,
introduced me to that.
Jane Henderson introduced it to me.
Aye.
Put it in a can of Coke
I just
All
kept
right.
putting drip,
Oh,
just drip
yeah.
it in.
and
drink.
just shake.
Aye.
Just made you shake.
Yeah.
It
Go
made
back,
you lose weight.
go back further than that. The Dodos, we went to see a movie with the Dodos. Remember that, Mick?
Do you remember that? It was in somewhere like Barnsley or somewhere in Yorkshire or something like that. Or
Dudley or
Dudley.
something. Aye, whatever it was.
Dudley. Because the
It was
gig got
Dudley.
cancelled, didn't it?
Aye, it was. Aye,
we,
Dudley.
we were in, and I was convinced those guys in front of us had a big knife. He
Oh,
may have had
my.
a big knife, like a big 12-inch saber knife. And I think my recollection is I was getting pushed in a shopping trolley because my legs wouldn't work. I had to get wheeled back.
I hope you edit this fucking conversation, brother.
Aye.
There's
I
serious
don't think
editing
it's
involved.
Brian. I
Call
don't think
this one
it's anything
Sergeant
young
Pepper.
guys. That's our lives, you know. It's like if we tried all that stuff, we're still here. We're not
Aye.
dead. Okay, I'm a recovering alcoholic and I'm 28 years sober, but it doesn't. I wouldn't regret any of it to come to this
Aye.
point. You know what I mean?
Paul,
That's the way it works.
Paul, have you read Dan's book?
No, not yet. I need to read it. I've been watching you on YouTube, and I've been getting a right buzz out of it, Derek. Well done.
My wife read Derek's book and says, "Why are you still alive?"
Aye. Aye.
I says,
Well-
"Just because we are."
I know.
Yeah.
I think everybody's tired. They read it and they get tired. They go, "Fuck, my God, that was some fucking life you had gone." Talking about we'd be in America, then we'd go to Australia, we'd do Australia, we'd come back in, do Europe, and then we'd be back to America, and it just was going round like that the whole time. It was just mental, but
Well,
not
that,
long enough for me. I wish I'd done more, but there you go.
Yeah.
I think the privilege of having the experiences are far greater than people realise, because
Aye.
at the time, the music was such an important part of life, and to be successful in it, there's so few people were, and to have that journey go through all the trips, being all the places, you know, you were
Aye.
so fortunate, and it should have went on. It should really still go on, Derek. It should still go on. You three should get something done, for fuck's sake. Stop fucking about. Honestly, it's a fucking waste of time. It's like, you know, I would love to see it live. Do you know what I mean? I think loads of people, you wouldn't have a problem getting a promoter to do it, and you could end up doing a world tour, and you should put out some fucking records while you still can. That's
Good
what I would say.
Paul.
Eh?
Yeah, that's what
That's a
Bruce
good
was saying.
suggestion.
Aye. You should definitely just keep, you know, go and, if you need a studio, go in and fucking find a studio and just fucking do it like you did before, whatever way you want to do it. But get excited about it and get some tunes down. You've still got a lot to give, you know? And it's honestly,
Nice.
Mick, you and Derek were fucking the lifeblood of the band, really.
Thanks,
And,
Paul. Thanks.
you know, no, you know what I mean? Fuck, you know what I mean, Derek? You do, Brian, you know what I mean as well. When you listen, when you stand back, you go, who the fuck's playing the keyboards? And that's a fucking great bass line in every tune.
Oh, it sounded a lot better just bass and drums, personally.
You would say that. You're a rhythm.
I'm convinced it sounded just fine with just the drums.
Just the drums alone. But wouldn't it for the fucking drums?
In fact, just the snare drum.
Drums, I wouldn't get half of my bass lines anyway. On
Just the fucking snare drum. Turned off, of course. Way backwards.
I'm not, because everybody, they'll go, how'd you get that sound? He turns the fucking snare off. Boss fucking, his granny's trying to sleep, he's got to turn the fucking snare off.
I copied Paul Thompson.
Well, the
Nice
snare
one,
off
Paul.
was a really, really great move, Brian. You should have fucking done the whole thing in your life with that snare off, and that would have been your sound.
Love is a drug, Mick.
Aye.
Music.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from.
I need to go,
Yeah.
guys. My buddy's just turned up. Okay.
Right.
Paul Thompson
So,
did it first.
Thanks for
Brilliant.
bringing me
Thanks.
in.
Hey, listen, Paul, thanks very much. Brilliant to see you again.
You too.
Send me your mobile number and we'll get together.
Aye, definitely, Brian. You in Glasgow?
I'm in Glasgow on the south side.
Brilliant. We'll get
So,
together.
man,
Get some coffee.
I'm in
Where
the
are you?
West End.
Are you? Well, let's get together when I'm up the West End and I'm up the South Side now and again. So
Who do you work for,
definitely,
Paul?
let's keep in touch, Derek. Keep in touch,
Paul,
Brian.
Aye.
Who
Yeah.
you work for?
I work for myself now, and I work.
Yeah.
Things have worked out really well for me, dude. I lived in America. I lived in LA for 10 years. I lived in Hamburg and all that. I was in Japan.
You worked for Steinberg, didn't you?
Worked for Steinberg in the 90s when VST
Akai.
and ASIO and all that came out. Worked for Akai before that. But after that, I worked for M Audio. We turned MIDI Man into M Audio and I was in LA. We sold that to Avid.
Right.
So that was the first transaction. Then I did a bunch of other ones after it.
Mr.
I had a
Tech.
great time. That's what I'm saying. It set me up doing that tour. It gave
Yeah.
me confidence and it gave me an insight, like stuff I'd never seen before. You know what I mean? That
Brilliant.
really was amazing. And playing with you guys was just an honour, you know. In reflection, it's like, I'm so fucking lucky, you know.
So
Fantastic.
Right.
Right, well, I'll
Excellent, Paul.
speak to you soon,
Brilliant.
right? Let's keep in touch, Brian.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Right.
Take care.
Love you, man.
See you, Paul. See you
Cheers,
later.
man. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye. Bye.